Imagine for a moment that everything in your life, your success, your failures, your happiness, even your relationships, is not determined by luck, circumstances, or other people. Imagine that the real architect of your reality is not your environment, not your job, not your past, but your own mind. Every thought you think, every belief you hold, every emotion you feed is silently shaping your destiny. Right now, in this very moment, your mind is either building the life you want or quietly destroying it. And here's the truth most people never realize. The difference between the life you dream of and the life you settle for is not in the world around you. It is in the control of your own mind. Today, I'm going to show you how to take full command of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. I'm going to show you how to turn your mind into a powerhouse that creates reality, not just reacts to it. Because once you learn to master your mind, you stop being a passenger in life and become the driver of everything you desire. Your mind is the master architect of your life. Think about that for a moment. Everything you see around you, everything you experience, begins first as a thought. Your life is not a random collection of events. It is a reflection of what is happening inside you. The way you think, the stories you tell yourself, the beliefs you cling to. They are the blueprint from which your reality is built. Here's the thing most people don't understand. Your mind is always working. Every single moment, it's either constructing the life you want or sabotaging it without you even realizing. Look at your own life. What patterns keep repeating? Results seem impossible to change no matter how hard you try. Those are not coincidences. They are reflections of the mental programs you have been running for years. And the power to change them is not somewhere out there. It is inside you. Every thought you consciously choose, every belief you question, every focus you decide to maintain is like laying a brick in the foundation of your future. You cannot build a mansion on sand. You cannot build a thriving life without first strengthening the foundation of your mind. Most people leave this completely to chance. They allow random thoughts to dominate. They listen to the inner critic, and they let fear dictate decisions. They wonder why life doesn't deliver, yet they never stop to realize that their thoughts are the architects of everything they see. But here's the beautiful part. The same mind that has unconsciously shaped your past can be trained, guided, mastered to design a future you choose. You can become intentional with your thinking. You can decide which thoughts will stay and which will go. You can take control of the mental patterns that have held you back and replace them with ones that propel you forward. I want you to really feel this. Your mind is not just a tool. It is the force behind every reality you experience. Your emotions, your actions, your relationships, your financial results, they all stem from the programming you carry inside. When you finally accept that truth, you stop blaming circumstances, people, or luck for where you are. You start to understand that you have been given the ultimate power, the power to change your life from the inside out. That power is available to everyone, but few ever reach for it because controlling your mind is not easy. It takes awareness, it takes discipline, and it takes a relentless commitment to yourself. Here's a simple way to see it. Imagine a sculptor staring at a block of marble. The beauty inside the stone doesn't magically appear on its own. Every strike of the chisel is intentional, every decision deliberate. The sculptor sees the final masterpiece in his mind first, and then he works tirelessly to bring it into the world. Your mind works the same way. Every thought you hold, every belief you nurture, every focus you repeat is like a strike of the chisel, shaping the life you will ultimately live. If you are not intentional, if you allow every random thought to guide your actions, you end up with a sculpture that doesn't reflect your potential. But when you become aware and deliberate, you create a life that reflects the greatness that has always been inside you. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, this sounds good. My mind is too chaotic. I can't control it. I've tried and nothing works. I hear you. Most people have never learned how to truly observe their thoughts without letting them control them. That's the missing piece. The first step is awareness. You have to start noticing the patterns that repeat in your mind. Catch yourself when a thought arises that limits you, that fills you with fear, doubt, or frustration. When you notice it, you take the first step toward mastery. Awareness gives you choice. Choice is the birthplace of power. Once you gain that awareness, you can begin the practice of consciously shaping your mental environment. You can focus on solutions instead of problems. You can nurture empowering beliefs instead of limiting ones. You can imagine the life you want and then feed your mind with thoughts that align with that vision. Because your mind, when trained, is relentless in its ability to bring your vision to life. It works day and night, silently building the reality you focus on, whether you want it or not. So why not choose to direct it? Why not become the architect of your destiny instead of a bystander watching life unfold around you? This is not a theory. This is a truth that every successful person in history has lived by. They understood that their inner world shaped their outer world, and they refused to let random circumstances dictate their results. They invested in their minds, they controlled their focus, and they took responsibility for every thought and belief. And the results, extraordinary lives, extraordinary impact, and a reality that others could only dream of. It begins with a decision. Decision to take full ownership of your mind, to realize that what is happening outside of you is only a reflection of what is happening inside, to stop blaming, to stop reacting, and to start designing. Your thoughts are powerful. Your beliefs are powerful. Your focus is powerful. And when you finally master them, your life will finally reflect the greatness that has always been inside you. What you focus on expands. Think about that for a moment. Your mind is like a powerful magnifying glass. Whatever you shine it on grows bigger. Whatever you pay attention to becomes more real, more alive, more dominant in your life. Most people don't realize how much this is happening every single day in ways that shape their reality without them even noticing. You've probably seen it before. Someone obsessed with problems ends up surrounded by problems. Someone who focuses on solutions seems to attract opportunities effortlessly. That is not coincidence. That is focus in action. The universe responds to your attention. It doesn't judge. It doesn't negotiate. It simply amplifies what you feed it. Your energy goes where your mind goes, and your life reflects that energy. If you are constantly thinking about fear, scarcity, what could go wrong, then your world will inevitably mirror those thoughts. But if you focus on growth, on abundance, what is possible instead of what is impossible, then your life begins to shift. You start to notice opportunities you never saw before. You start to make decisions you never thought you could. Your world begins to expand in alignment with your focus. Here's the powerful part. You don't have to wait for your circumstances to change in order to feel better, to act differently, to create results. The change begins with where you place your attention. The moment you consciously decide to focus on what empowers you rather than what limits you, the laws of life respond. It is like tuning a radio to a news station. The music that plays is the life that comes through. If you leave your dial on fear, negativity, doubt, and distraction, that is the signal you receive. But if you tune it to clarity, possibility, and purpose, the frequency of your life changes. Most people are living on autopilot, reacting to every thought and emotion that crosses their mind. They allow small doubts to grow into mountains, worries to become chains, and distractions to steal their energy. And they wonder why life feels so hard. When you understand this principle, when you realize that focus is the gateway to creation, you begin to take control of your attention like a master. You become intentional about what you let into your mind and what you allow to stay. Begin to filter out the noise and concentrate on what will produce the results you desire. Now, this does not mean that ignoring problems or challenges will make them disappear. It means that you approach them with a mindset that is solution-focused, opportunity-driven, and aligned with the results you want. Every thought that dominates your mind has a chemical, emotional, and behavioral consequence. Focus on fear and your body tightens, your energy contracts, and your options narrow. Focus on what excites you, what inspires you, what moves you toward your goals, and your body opens, your energy expands, and your mind begins to create new possibilities. This is not some abstract idea. It is biology and physics working through your consciousness. You can begin this shift immediately by becoming aware of where your attention goes each day. Watch your thoughts. Notice what you dwell on. Are you focused on what you cannot control? Are you focusing on what you can create? Are you fixated on problems, or are you cultivating solutions? Are you thinking about fear and limitation, or are you feeding yourself vision, courage, and possibility? Whatever you feed consistently will grow stronger, and whatever you starve will weaken and fade. This is why people who obsess over negativity, gossip, or self-doubt stay trapped in small lives, while those who focus on growth, opportunity, abundance rise above circumstances that seem impossible. The moment you decide to take control of your focus, your mind becomes an engine for creation. You start to see doors that were invisible before. You find resources you never knew you had. You connect with people and ideas that align with your vision. And most importantly, you feel the emotional power that fuels action. Because it is not just your thoughts that matter, it is the feeling behind them. When your focus is aligned with strong, empowering emotions, your mind and body move with unstoppable momentum toward the life you are designing. And here is the final truth about focused life. Will give you exactly what you concentrate on, whether you want it or not. So you have a choice. You can focus on fear, limitation, and what is wrong in your life, and watch those things grow bigger. Or you can focus on what excites you, what empowers you, what will move you closer to the life you imagine, and watch it expand, transform, and manifest. The choice is yours. Every moment presents an opportunity to shift your focus, to redirect your energy, to consciously shape the reality you live in. Where you place your attention is where your life will go. Your beliefs shape your identity and your destiny. Everything you experience, every result you get starts with a belief. Beliefs are the lens through which you see the world, the filters that decide what is possible and what is not. They are the silent architects of your actions, the invisible force behind every choice you make. And here's the challenge: most people never stop to examine them. They carry beliefs from childhood, from society, from other people. They accept them as truth without ever questioning whether they serve them or limit them. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, or that's just not for people like me? Those beliefs, whether you realize it or not, have been shaping your life every day, quietly dictating your actions, your opportunities, even the people you attract. And because they feel like truth, they are incredibly powerful. They influence how you respond to challenges, how you perceive obstacles, and how willing you are to take risks. Limiting belief can stop you in your tracks faster than any external barrier ever could. But here's the exciting truth: beliefs are not permanent. They are learned, and they can be unlearned. They are patterns of thought, habits of the mind. Habits can be changed. The moment you become aware of a belief that is holding you back, you have the power to challenge it. You can ask yourself, is this really true? Is there evidence for this? Does this belief empower me? Does it keep me small? When you start questioning your beliefs, you create space for new, empowering ones to take root. The beliefs that empower you are the ones that align with possibility, growth, and action. They are the beliefs that tell you, I can learn, I can grow, I can overcome any obstacle, and I am capable of more than I ever imagined. When these beliefs dominate your mind, your behaviors naturally shift. You take bold action. You persist when others quit. You see opportunities where others see dead ends. And because your actions are aligned with empowering beliefs, your results begin to reflect them. Your life starts to transform, not because circumstances suddenly change, because the way you see and interact with the world has changed. Most people underestimate the power of belief because it works quietly and visibly, but it is relentless. A single empowering belief can fuel years of persistence, courage, and creativity. Single limiting belief can keep you stuck in fear, doubt, and mediocrity for decades. That is why belief is so critical. It is the engine behind your results, the lens through which you interpret every experience, the measure by which you judge what is possible in your life. You cannot achieve extraordinary results while holding ordinary, limiting beliefs. It simply cannot happen. This is where most people get stuck. They wait for the outside world to give them proof before they change their beliefs. They want circumstances to improve, opportunities to appear, or people to validate them. But the truth is, the world reflects what you already believe. If you believe you are capable, worthy, and deserving, you will see the evidence everywhere. If you believe you are small, limited, and powerless, the world will confirm it again and again. Your beliefs are not just thoughts. They are the lens that creates the reality you experience every single day. The good news is that you are not a victim of your beliefs. You have the power to rewrite them. You can consciously choose what you believe about yourself, about others, and about the possibilities in your life. You can immerse yourself in thoughts, experiences, and people that reinforce empowering beliefs. You can repeatedly feed your mind with evidence that supports growth, confidence, and courage. And over time, these beliefs become automatic part of who you are. They become the foundation upon which you build extraordinary results. Here is a powerful way to look at it. Your beliefs are like the operating system of your life. If your operating system is outdated, filled with bugs and limitations, everything you do is slowed down, restricted, and prone to error. When you upgrade your beliefs, when you replace fear with courage, doubt with certainty, limitation with possibility, you instantly change the way your mind interprets the world. You give yourself a new operating system that produces results naturally and most effortlessly. And the most important point is this change begins inside. You cannot wait for someone else to hand you confidence, for the economy to improve, or for circumstances to align perfectly. Your beliefs are under your control. You can choose to challenge them, replace them, and reinforce the ones that serve your purpose. This is where true power lies, the power to create a reality that reflects the person you are becoming, not the person you once were. Once you embrace this truth, you start seeing yourself differently. You begin to recognize that your potential has been limited only by the stories you've told yourself. You start to take actions you never thought possible, and as those actions accumulate, your reality transforms, becomes a mirror of the empowered, capable, and unstoppable person you choose to be. Your beliefs determine your destiny. Choose ones that elevate it. Emotion is the fuel of creation. Think about it. Your thoughts alone are powerful. When they are mixed with strong, consistent emotion, they become unstoppable. The way you feel about your life, your goals, and yourself determines how much energy you bring to your actions, and that energy creates results. Most people underestimate this. Your emotional state is not just a byproduct of what happens to you. It is the driver of everything that happens in your life. The truth is, you don't attract what you think, you attract what you feel. Your emotions send signals to your brain, your body, and the universe, and those signals shape your experiences, your decisions, and the people and circumstances you draw into your life. Think about the times you were inspired, excited, or passionate about something. When you felt that fire inside, seemed to open effortlessly. Ideas flowed, opportunities appeared, and your energy was magnetic to others. Contrast that with the times you were afraid, anxious, or doubtful. Every obstacle seemed bigger, every challenge felt heavier. You found yourself stuck, waiting for someone or something to change. That is the difference emotion makes. It is the fuel behind your creation, the force behind every action, and the magnet that attracts your experiences. Most people live their lives on autopilot, allowing fleeting emotions like fear, frustration, or self-doubt to guide their actions. They don't realize that by feeding these emotions, they are programming themselves for more of the same. Negative emotions shrink your energy, limit your options, and trap you in patterns that feel impossible to break. But here's the exciting truth. You can choose your emotional state. You can decide to cultivate emotions that empower you, that drive you forward, that make you unstoppable. Emotions like gratitude, certainty, courage, and passion are not just feelings. They are tools for creating the life you want. The first step is awareness. Begin noticing how you feel in every moment. Recognize the impact those emotions have on your thoughts and actions. When you feel fear or doubt creeping in, don't ignore it. Acknowledge it, understand it, then decide whether you will let it dominate your mind or whether you will consciously shift to a state that serves you. You have the power to interrupt the old patterns and replace them with emotions that move you toward your goals. This is not a trick or a technique. It is a fundamental principle of human behavior. When you learn to manage your emotional state, you become a magnet for everything you desire. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you consistently operated from an empowered emotional state. How much more confident would you feel? How many more risks would you take? How many opportunities would you see that are invisible to others? Motion is not just energy, it is the language through which your mind communicates with the world. When your energy is high, when your emotions are aligned with possibility, your body moves with vigor, your mind focuses with clarity, your actions become precise and powerful. The key is not to deny negative emotions. They are signals, not enemies. Fear tells you there is risk. Doubt tells you something is unclear. Frustration tells you that something needs attention. The difference is in how you respond. Instead of letting fear stop you, you can feel it and act anyway. Instead of letting doubt paralyze you, you can examine it and use it as information to move forward intelligently. Instead of letting frustration crush you, you can channel it into determination and momentum. This is the mastery of emotion. It is not about avoiding feelings, it is about directing them. Your emotional state also sets the frequency of your life. You live in empowered emotions. You resonate at a level that attracts experiences, people, and circumstances aligned with growth, success, and possibility. When you live in fear, doubt, or negativity, you attract experiences that reinforce those emotions. This is why two people in the same situation can have completely different outcomes. The difference is how they feel, how they respond emotionally, and the energy they bring to the world. Most people wait for their circumstances to change in order to feel better, but the truth is that emotion leads reality, not the other way around. When you consciously cultivate the emotional state of success, abundance, and confidence, you begin to act, think, and attract in alignment with that state. It is like setting the thermostat of your life. Once you set it high, everything in your environment begins to adjust to match it. And here's the most important part. Emotion without action is potential wasted, but action without emotion is weak. When your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions are fueled by empowered emotion, you become unstoppable. You start to see doors open, solutions appear, momentum build in ways that feel almost effortless. That is the power of emotion. It is the engine behind your creation, the force that transforms ideas into reality. You have the power to feel how you want, to cultivate the emotions that move you toward your dreams, and to use that emotional energy as the fuel to create the life you desire. Your emotions are your most powerful currency. Spend them wisely. Discipline your mind like a muscle. Think about it. Your mind is powerful, but left unchecked, it can run wild. It will react to fear, laziness, doubt, and distraction unless you take conscious control. Most people underestimate the importance of mental discipline. They believe that talent, opportunity, or luck will determine their results, but the truth is the mind is the ultimate driver of achievement. Every action you take, every choice you make flow from your mental state. And if your mind is uncontrolled, inconsistent, or distracted, actions will be too. Discipline is not punishment. It is the gateway to freedom. It is the ability to decide what matters, to focus on what produces results, and to ignore everything that does not serve your purpose. When you train your mind, not restricting yourself, you are unleashing your potential. You are teaching yourself to act with precision, to resist impulses that waste energy, and to direct your thoughts and emotions toward outcomes that matter. This is not easy, because your mind is accustomed to comfort, to habit, to taking the path of least resistance. But every moment you resist the easy, automatic response and choose deliberate action, you are strengthening the most powerful muscle you have, your mind. Think about an athlete. The difference between an average athlete and a champion is not just skill, it is discipline. The champion trains relentlessly, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it is inconvenient. They make decisions every day that others avoid. They control their habits, their thoughts, and their focus. In life, your mind works the same way. Every choice you make, what you think about, what you say to yourself, you react, builds the structure of your reality. Without discipline, your mind drifts, react in external conditions, swept along by circumstances. With discipline, it becomes your greatest ally, force that moves you with unstoppable momentum toward your goals. The first step to mental discipline is awareness. Notice where your mind wanders, what triggers distraction, fear, or negative thinking. Recognize the habits of thought that do not serve you. Awareness alone gives you the ability to change. From there, you build simple daily practices that train your mind to focus. You start small, 10 minutes of focused attention, deliberate visualization of your goals, choosing positive, empowering thoughts over default negative ones. You commit to this consistently every day until control becomes second nature. Discipline also requires consistency in action. Thoughts without action are empty. You train your mind to act even when it is uncomfortable, when you push past resistance, when you persist despite doubt, you create momentum. Momentum is the secret of achievement. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. The mind thrives on action. It grows stronger with each challenge faced, each fear overcome, each decision made. The more you exercise discipline, the more resilient your mind becomes, and the easier it is to maintain control over your focus, your beliefs, and your emotions. Most people avoid discipline because it feels hard. They prefer comfort, routine, and distraction. They wait for motivation to strike, but motivation is unreliable. Discipline is reliable. Discipline does not depend on mood, energy, or circumstance. It is the commitment to yourself, the promise that no matter how you feel, you will act in alignment with your highest purpose. And the results are exponential. Disciplined mind does not just create temporary success. It builds lasting momentum, creates consistent results, and produces the life you consciously choose. Here's the important truth: your mind is like a garden. If you leave it untended, weeds will grow: fear, doubt, distraction, negative self-talk. But when you tend it carefully, planting seeds of focus, persistence, and empowerment, it will flourish. Discipline is the act of tending your mind daily, removing what does not serve you, nurturing what elevates you. And over time, what once felt impossible, control over thoughts, mastery over emotions, clarity, and decision-making, becomes natural, effortless, and unstoppable. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about direction. It is about choosing daily to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the life you want. The mind responds to repetition, to practice, to training. And the more you practice discipline, the more automatic it becomes. You begin to act without hesitation, to think without distraction, and to create results without relying on fleeting willpower. You become the person who does not wait for life to happen. You become the person who shapes it intentionally. The ultimate reward of mental discipline is freedom. When your mind is trained, when your thoughts are intentional, when your focus is precise, you are no longer a prisoner of fear, doubt, or distraction. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You are free to act, to create, and to live a life that reflects your true potential. Every challenge becomes an opportunity. Every obstacle becomes a stepping stone, and every day becomes a chance to strengthen the most powerful asset you have: your own mind. Your mind is your greatest muscle. Train it relentlessly. Create with intention. Every day you make hundreds of decisions, some small, some enormous. But the truth is, most people are not aware of how these decisions, these thoughts, these actions accumulate to shape their reality. Life is not something that just happens to you. Life is not a random series of events. Your reality is a reflection of the choices you make, the focus you maintain, and the energy you put into the world. Not a passenger, you are the driver. And the question is, are you driving consciously, or are you letting life steer you without direction? Many people go through life reacting to circumstances. They wait for opportunities to appear, problems to resolve, or for someone else to validate them. They wonder why their dreams never come true, why they feel stuck, or why life seems harder than it should be. The truth is, you are constantly creating, whether you realize it or not. Every thought, every emotion, every action is a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. And if you are not intentional, you are allowing random patterns, fears, and distractions to paint your reality for you. Intentional creation begins with awareness. You must first recognize that your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, is the starting point for everything you experience. Once you understand this, you realize that nothing outside of you has the ultimate power. Circumstances, other people, luck. These are only reflections of what is already happening inside your mind. And when you grasp this truth, everything changes. You stop waiting for life to happen to you, and you begin to consciously shape it. You begin to act like the architect of your own reality. Intentional creation also requires clarity. You cannot create a life you do not clearly see in your mind first. You must define your vision with precision. What do you truly want? What experiences, relationships, achievements, and emotions do you want to dominate your life? Clarity allows your mind to focus, your emotions to fuel action, and your body to respond with energy and commitment. When your vision is vague, your results are scattered. When your vision is crystal clear, your focus becomes unstoppable, and your actions align with the life you are designing. But clarity alone is not enough. Creation requires action, and it requires consistency. You cannot simply imagine, think, feel your way into reality. You must act decisively, repeatedly, and persistently. Every action, no matter how small, is a signal to your mind and your environment that this is what matters. Every step you take compounds into momentum. Momentum becomes unstoppable when it is aligned with intentional focus and empowering emotion. Action without intention is wasted energy. Intention without action is wasted potential. The power comes when you combine both clarity of vision and relentless, inspired action. Another critical element is responsibility. To create intentionally, you must take full responsibility for your reality. No blaming circumstances, no waiting for permission, no hoping someone else will make it easier. Everything you see in your life today is the result of your past focus, beliefs, emotions, and actions. Accepting this truth is not about guilt or shame. It is about empowerment. It is the ultimate realization that you are not a victim and that you have been given the power to shape everything around you. Responsibility gives you control, and control gives you freedom. Creation also demands courage to intentionally design your life, face fears, doubts, and resistance. People will question you, circumstances will challenge you, and sometimes your own mind will try to convince you to quit. This is natural. Creation always requires stepping into the unknown, taking risks, moving despite fear. But the difference between someone who dreams and someone who lives their dreams is that the latter chooses courage over comfort, action over hesitation, and persistence over surrender. You must embrace discomfort as part of the process because it is in those moments that you expand, grow, and create something extraordinary. Finally, intentional creation requires alignment. Your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, actions must all point in the same direction. You cannot say one thing and believe another or act without feeling. When all aspects of your inner world are aligned with your vision, the energy you emit becomes magnetic. opportunities appear, right people show up, and circumstances begin to bend in your favor. Creation is not magic. It is the natural result of alignment between your inner world and your outer actions. Every day presents a choice. You can continue to react, drift, let life shape you, or you can consciously create, lead, and design your reality. You have the power to focus, believe, to feel, to act, and to persist in alignment with the life you want. You are the author, the sculptor, and the driver. When you take that responsibility fully, when you combine clarity, action, courage, and alignment, you move from living a life by default to creating a life by design. You are the creator of your reality. Choose to design it with purpose.